Hey there. Anyway, Conscious of Economics and the Urban Farm Project. And sorry I look a little thrashed. I just got up from a nap. But I'm back in Reno right now and working on people physically, crunch, for money, so I can go back out on the land in Oregon and continue to work for free, building a food production for them. But I have a gripe. Actually, I have two major gripes. So back in the day when I was like around age 40, I went back to school to Rudolf Steiner and got biodynamic, did the course and took phenomenology course and some other stuff there. And then really started a focus and a journey where a lot of like native past ceremony, shamanism ceremony, and earth healing, soil regeneration, restoration, composting as medical medicine for animals and ingesting by people to cure most diseases that are lack of proper microbial processes, healthy microbes in the systems. I really believe that proper soil and compost could fix water, cure water, help water, clean water, could do all the same thing for air. So I took a whole bunch of mastery courses in tree pruning and stuff like that. And I went into Home Depot. I think I was like 41. And I needed to get a whole bunch of tools. And I was looking for small chainsaws that I could use, that I could actually, hold up above my head while I'm like standing in a tree or on a 40-foot ladder so that I could cut a branch. And I was trying to explain to this guy at Home Depot what I was looking for, a chainsaw or power tools that, I can actually lift over my head. And while I'm, a pirouette? I'm doing a pirouette on a 40-foot ladder or on a tree limb, that I could easily and effortlessly cut, like chainsaw or whatever else. And after talking to this guy, just looking for tools that women can use, women-friendly tools, he finally looks at me and he says, "Ma'am, we don't have anything in pink." I was like so pissed off. I mean, it was such like a discriminatory, thing to say to me, is that they don't have tools in pink. I mean, obviously he totally missed what I was trying to convey to him about how I'm looking for like a small chainsaw that can cut through, a fairly medium-sized branch and that I can hold over my head. Some of these chainsaws that have all this oil and gas and stuff in them, if I'm standing on the ground and I only have to lift it so far a couple of times, no problem. But I cannot stand on a 40-foot ladder pirouetting in a tree and use something like that. So I eventually ended up getting electric chainsaws that I could actually maneuver pretty easy. But on the land where I'm going, there's not a lot of electricity and long power cords. So a friend of mine offered to give me a generator, but that's just too much. It defeats the purpose. So hopefully they'll find me a small gas-powered chainsaw on the land that I can use to prune the fruit trees that we have there that are in desperate need. But the whole Home Depot thing just really... So any manufacturer out there that deals with farming equipment, ranching equipment, any kind of machinery or equipment, please do not make it in pink. I hate pink. I would not even buy anything if it was in pink. But could you think about making tools for women, friendly tools for women, so that we can do the same job as a man? We may want to prune our own fruit trees and forego making our, husbands and boyfriends or hiring someone to do it. So, second gripe I have that I've been thinking about a lot for like 5 years. So growing food is finding people who can really grow food are anomalies. To be able to walk into any kind of property, fix the soil, and fix it with things that you can find on the land. For example, cutting down old trees and chipping them there on the land to help with aeration of the soil and feeding microbes. Those kinds of things can help fix the soil. So number one, fixing soil to grow food in any climate or condition, being able to grow small amounts or large amounts, being able to care for fruit trees, nut trees, all kinds of different crops, quarterly and annual crops, and all aspects of farming that could feed people, like diversely feed people. We're anomalies. And I'm realizing more and more that I'm an anomaly. So when I go to these meetings, I go to these think tanks, I get involved with some of these groups who are trying to change the paradigm. For some reason, food growing is just not in the equation, and they usually don't really have anyone that has the skills or abilities to grow food. So, I go on lots of different communities over the last 20 years. I've lived on 27 different communities, and it's always the same thing. They have all these, creative people and all this other stuff and going on, and they might have some animals and blah, 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 but they have zero food growing, which is always shocking to me. And so I used to be like, maybe everybody knows how to grow food. So maybe this is why at meetings and community endeavors and projects, it's just not discussed. Well, the land that I'm on now has no food production. It has some orchard trees. Those are annual. Lots of grass, like bad fire grass that really needs to be cut back, which is a serious. The other thing too is safety on communities. Like people are just like, phew, any kind of safety. Bee safety, like for example, I got recently attacked by, underground meat bees, which was a serious, dangerous situation. I have friends that would have not survived with an EpiPen to the hospital because the hospital was an hour away. So, and then this grass on the land that I'm at, serious bad fire hazard. There's an area where chickens and all the fowl have been pooping, and it's exposed and to hot temperatures like 110 this summer. And that's chicken poop is like flammable. Will just start a fire, and then it would burn down everything there. And the people that have the land would be liable once the fire department found out where it started, and then they see the birds and whatever else and the chicken poop. They'd be like, oh yeah, it's your fault. And then burn down all this other people's houses and land when it would just be so easy just to rake the stuff up and put it in an area or put it in a compost or some other place where it's going to be, utilized and neutralized. So on the land, there's no food being grown. So I'm there and I'm putting in, fixing soil from things that I can find and make on the land. Also just did a really awesome, A-class, A-plus biodynamic compost for the people on the land. We're going to open that up on October 16th and see how it's cooking away. I may actually have some people there to do a free class. If not, we'll do a short video on it. And then I started the cleanup process and help and restoration on the little fruit tree orchards, old big tree orchards that they have there that haven't really been taken care of. And I started some seeds, and so I have some seedlings to plant when I get back. More kind of wintry fall food, just a lot of kale. And you can pretty much do anything to leafy green plants, and they'll pretty much grow really well. It's when you have to get to the fruiting plants that things become just a little bit more complicated with nutrient and getting the soil right. So we'll be planting a garden, most likely probably planting some cold frames. and taking care of all that, because the people there don't know what they're doing or anything about it. Otherwise, they would have grown something. I mean, 40 acres, open land, and nobody even has a seed to plant. Thank God I came loaded with my seeds to plant and got things going. So that'll be interesting to see. But so we went to this other guy's property to collect some more apples before I left. And this guy had a guy who knew how to grow food for their community. Okay, mind you, no food is being grown anymore because nobody there on the land or who comes there knows how to grow food. And the guy that they had grew a huge crop of organic heirloom wheat, grew all kinds of vegetables and all kinds of amazing food, covered 20 acres of food. And the guy who owns the land that we went to see and the guy that was growing there didn't get along and didn't see eye to eye. Well, it's really hard to make people understand who don't shovel to grow food. You know, it's all nice and hypothetical if you've never lifted a shovel to grow food. Sometimes you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You've been reading books and going to classes and not implementing it. It pisses me off. So, you know, I cream off the crop when it comes to people who say that they can grow food. And I'm like, do you actually grow food? Do you actually have a garden in your yard? Do you actually have you shoveled, you know, for a few hours daily? Have you actually planted your own stuff? And so if not, then, you know, talk to the hand, because you know what? You're hypothetical. Virtual reality doesn't grow kale in the ground. So anyway, we're at this guy's land and property. And he tells me that he got in a really big fight with the guy who was growing all the food for everybody there on the community by himself. And that the guy finally just got pissed off and left. And I was just like, it just goes to show you, like, people like me are an anomaly that can grow food, can grow mass food, and will put up with growing all the food for a community. I mean, or on the land that we're on. And that's bullshit. Let me just tell you, like, we work, you know, 10, 15 hours a day to grow food for, say, 10 people, you know, and that everybody else does whatever the fuck they want. And, you know, we've just shoveled for 15 hours that day, or, you know, whatever else it's going to be. Growing food is back-breaking labor. Like, it takes a strong individual as well. So, you know, I'm going to start charging more for my time. And, you know, and I'm just going to, like, you know, respect myself and my craft that I'm doing, because other people don't know how to do it. And you know what? They're going to starve. You pull shit. I mean, who does that? A person who comes to your land, I mean, and makes all of your land, like, totally wonderful with all kinds of diversified food for all times of the year to eat, and a lot of food that you can store for when you need it. And you have to fight with him. What did you fight with him over with? He probably didn't even get paid, and he was doing this as a service. And it's like, you want to fight with us? You want to fight with the people who really know what they're doing and how to grow food? It's like, well, then you deserve to starve. You know, you really deserve to starve. Anyway, it just grouches me out. All these people with land. Me, I'm struggling financially. I keep going to school. I keep taking courses. I keep learning different things. And more work with the earth and everything else. And I have no place to even grow a garden. And these people have masses of land and even have water rights, and grow nothing and fight with everybody because their land is a dictatorship. And nothing gets grown. I mean, you know, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with American people? Wake up or starve to death. I mean, come on. Anyway, thanks for listening. My gripe. It's Bridget Lynn Dolgoff. I'll be back on the land in about 7 days, and I'll be showing you what I'm doing with these little old orchard trees. And maybe I'll even get to show you planting my seedlings in the cold frames, and whatever else I'm up to. Anyway, oh, hey, and we're supposed to have the Chinook salmon going up the river there. It's one of the branches of the Umpqua River, and the Chinook salmon run comes towards, I guess, the end of September. So hopefully I'll get some footage on that, and because most of the river is only like waist deep. So it'll be really great. You'll be able to really see those salmon coming up the river. It's going to be so amazing. So anyway, have a great day. Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project channel. Thank you so much for watching me on YouTube. Bye.